11 Shocking Things About North Korea, the Horrors Hidden in the World's Most Secretive Nation. North Korea is a land shrouded in mystery, fear, and oppression. Ruled by the Kim dynasty since its founding, this isolated nation has become infamous for its human rights abuses, brutal punishments, and totalitarian control over its people. Beneath the surface of propaganda and parades lies a dark and horrifying reality. In this exposé, we uncover 11 shocking truths about North Korea, from its hellish labor camps to the unimaginable torture methods that defy belief. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to read may forever change how you see this secretive country. 1. Hellish labor camps, the Kwanliso nightmare. Imagine a place where hope dies before it is born, a place so brutal that merely surviving is considered an achievement. Welcome to North Korea's notorious Kwanliso, or labor camps. These are not ordinary prisons. They are vast, nightmarish zones of human suffering, where generations of families are condemned to live and die. Prisoners in these camps are forced into grueling physical labor from dawn until well past sunset. Mining coal with their bare hands, digging trenches or breaking rocks for 16 to 20 hours a day is considered normal. Starvation is rampant. Prisoners are given just enough food, a handful of cornmeal or rice, to keep them alive but too weak to resist. Many resort to eating grass, tree bark, or even rats to stave off hunger. Escape is virtually impossible. Those who dare to try are executed in front of others as a warning. Survivors, like Shin Dong-hook, who was born and raised in a labor camp, describe a life devoid of basic humanity, where even a child's mistake could result in torture or death. Families are torn apart, and prisoners are stripped of their dignity and humanity. 2. Public executions, fear as a weapon. Public executions are a chilling spectacle of power in North Korea. The regime uses them not just as a punishment, but as a display of dominance. Citizens are often forced to watch as people are executed, for crimes as trivial as watching South Korean television shows, listening to foreign music, or possessing a Bible. These executions are designed to shock and terrify. Some prisoners are tied to wooden posts and shot by firing squads. Others are obliterated by anti-aircraft guns, reducing their bodies to a gruesome pulp in seconds. Entire families, including children, are required to witness these executions to instill fear and obedience from an early age. The message is clear: dissent, even in thought, will not be tolerated. 3. Torture chambers, the darkness of human cruelty. Torture in North Korea is not just a punishment, it's a tool of control, designed to crush both body and spirit. Prisoners are subjected to unimaginable suffering, to extract confessions, or simply to instill fear. One of the most infamous methods is the airplane position, where prisoners are forced to kneel with their arms stretched out like wings for hours. Moving even slightly results in savage beatings. Another method involves forcing prisoners to drink gallons of water until their stomachs swell painfully, only to have guards stomp on their abdomen. Hanging prisoners by their wrists for hours or even days, often until their arms dislocate, is another common practice. The psychological toll is equally devastating. Prisoners are often told that their families have been executed or that their loved ones are suffering because of their actions. For many, the mental scars of these tortures are as lasting as the physical one. 4. Guilt by association, punishment across 3 generations. In North Korea, justice is collective, not individual. If one person is accused of a crime, their entire family, parents, siblings, children, and sometimes even grandchildren, are punished as well. This policy, known as 3 generations of punishment, ensures that no one dares to defy the regime. For instance, if someone is caught trying to escape the country, their family is immediately sent to a labor camp, regardless of whether they were involved. This policy creates an environment of constant fear, where even the slightest misstep can destroy not just your life, but the lives of everyone you love. Families often live in paranoia, unsure if their neighbors, co-workers, or even their own relatives might report them to the authorities. 5. Human experiments, science meets sadism. Perhaps one of the most disturbing truths about North Korea is the alleged use of prisoners for human experimentation. Testimonies from escapees and former guards describe experiments that sound more like the plot of a horror movie than reality. Prisoners are reportedly used to test chemical and biological weapons. They are placed in gas chambers, where they are watched through glass windows as they suffocate to death from experimental toxins. Pregnant women are forced to undergo abortions using brutal methods, while others are subjected to medical procedures without anesthesia. These experiments highlight the regime's complete disregard for human life. 6. Starvation as a tool of control. Starvation is not just a consequence of North Korea's failing economy, it's a deliberate weapon. During the 1990s famine, known as the Arduous March, millions of North Koreans starved to death while the regime prioritized its military and elite. Even today, food is used as a means of control. Those who are loyal to the regime are given better rations, while those deemed disloyal are left to fend for themselves. In labor camps, starvation is a daily reality. Prisoners receive so little food that their bodies waste away, leaving them skeletal and weak. Even outside the camps, many North Koreans survive on a diet of cornmeal and wild grasses. The regime's message is clear: loyalty equals survival. 7. Total surveillance, a nation of spies. In North Korea, there is no such thing as privacy. The regime maintains a vast network of informants and spies, ensuring that every word, action, and thought is monitored. Neighbors are encouraged to report on each other, and even family members are not exempt. Conversations are overheard, movements are tracked, and any deviation from expected behavior can result in arrest. Children are taught from a young age to idolize the Kim family and report any signs of disloyalty, even from their own parents. This culture of surveillance creates an atmosphere of paranoia where trust is nearly impossible. 8. Forced abortions and infanticide. North Korea's obsession with racial purity leads to horrific practices. Women who become pregnant while in China or through relationships with foreigners are often subjected to forced abortions upon their return to North Korea. In some cases, babies born in labor camps are killed shortly after birth, often in front of their mothers. These practices are part of the regime's effort to control its population and maintain its ideology of racial superiority. 9. Indoctrination from birth. From the moment they are born, North Koreans are subjected to intensive indoctrination. Children are taught that the Kim family is godlike and that their loyalty to the regime must be absolute. Schools focus heavily on propaganda, teaching students to hate the United States, Japan, and South Korea. Songs, poems, and stories glorify the Kim dynasty, while dissenting ideas are completely censored. By the time they reach adulthood, most North Koreans have been so thoroughly brainwashed that they cannot imagine questioning the regime. He that reigneth over 1,000 years shall not wear the religious raiment. 10. Modern-day slavery. Exported labor. North Korea exports thousands of its citizens to work in foreign countries under brutal conditions. These workers, sent to places like Russia, China, and the Middle East, are forced to work long hours in construction, logging, and other industries. The money they earn goes directly to the North Korean government, leaving the workers with almost nothing. They are closely monitored and live in isolation, unable to escape or communicate with the outside world. This system provides the regime with much-needed foreign currency while keeping its citizens under control. 11. The hidden wealth of the elite. While ordinary North Koreans suffer unimaginable poverty, the country's elite lives in opulence. The Kim family owns multiple palaces, private islands, and luxury cars. Kim Jong-un is rumored to have a collection of yachts and even a private ski resort. This stark contrast between the ruling class and the general population is one of the regime's most glaring hypocrisies. The wealth of the elite is hidden away in secret compounds, inaccessible to the average citizen.